All right, Shalom. I'm going to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father, whose name is Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Bahasham, Ruach HaKodash. Double honors unto the elder high priest that taught my elder apostles. Double honors unto my elder apostles and elder bishops at Great Millstone or GMS. Peace and blessings unto the elect of the nation Israel. This is the brother Atazaria from the Great Millstone, Houston. And I'm going to get right into this lesson. I'm going to play this news feed in the background because I don't have that connected to this device. Um, and what this police officer is going to say, all right, is dealing with the situation that's going on in Minneapolis. Okay. And let me read it. It says police leaders from several Minnesota agencies gathered to raise concerns, all right, about recent federal immigration enforcement actions that they say are violating civil rights and damaging public trust. Okay. So what is being done is everyday citizens and even some of their off-duty, law enforcement have been, pulled over and, been forced to identify themselves as being, U.S. citizens. Okay. And that's where we are. All right. So with that being said, let me bring out a scripture. This is the book of St. Matthew, chapter 10 and verse 16. It says, behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Okay. Be ye therefore wise as serpents. Okay. And harmless as doves. Okay. Let me get one more. All right. Let me do this. Agree. Shit. Salakia. Oh, I know what it is. Let me do this. QUI. Let me just put quick. It should come up. All right. Still in the book of St. Matthew, chapter 5 and verse 25. It reads, agree with thine adversary quickly, okay, whilst thou art in the way with him, lest at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast into prison. Okay, and I'm bringing that out because, Jake like to so-called exercise their rights, which the rights that we have come from Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. And this is what he tells us to do, dealing with our adversaries in situations like this. Okay. In order to not escalate situations, because these people are just looking, they're itching, waiting for the opportunity, right? To jack Jake up, man. Okay. And we know from what we've been gathering, all right, a lot of these guys that have joined, the ice circles, trying to, that are part of the icicles, all right, or, your backwoods, okay, self-haters, which when it come to Jake, you got to be self-hating to link up with the adversary, man. I'd rather be broke with nothing than join that team, okay? What they gonna do? Pay you, to do your people wrong? You see? Is that worth it? A lot of guys don't even care. They like on Django. They black slavers. Remember what Django said about a black slaver? He said ain't nothing lower than being a black slaver. Roughly paraphrasing. Okay? You don't want to be the overseer to your people, man. We got terms for jakes like that. Coons, Sambos, sellouts, bootlicker, We don't say Uncle Tom because when you go into that, Uncle Tom was actually down with with us, okay, in that, in that sense. He was down for his people. It was the Sambos, okay? You don't want to be a damn Sambo, all right? But without any further ado, all right, because again, we know these are the type of people the proud bees, trying to talk in code, right? And all kind of other uh brown skin hating people. Okay. And as I said, even a lot of Latino, a lot of northern tribes have joined that because they're a bunch of damn sellouts, man, a bunch of damn self haters. Okay. You got to be a real slime ball. Okay. A real scuzz bucket. Okay. To sell out, man. Because you a sellout. All right. Was it worth it? The little the little $40,000 bonus. What the fuck? What is that? Okay. When you compromise morality, was, doing the work of the devil. Okay. Anyhow, let me play this, and it's just a quick hit, just to, uh bring out how we're to conduct ourselves in these types of situations, because they're going to start happening more and more. All right. Because Esau showed you that he'll do it to his own people. What you think they got in store for Jake, man? Now they're talking about warrantless, or that these icicles, okay, will be able to enter into people's homes without, typically you have to go to a magistrate or a local judge, something like that, to get them to sign off on a warrant. Okay. So in certain conditions, certain cases, they don't need that. Okay. And this devil is about to show more of his horns. Okay. Anyhow, let me play this video, and if the spirits say the same, we'll close. All right, let me do this. And I'm gonna call fair use. All right. Let me pull it back. Oh, let me turn off the mute.
Recently, as the last 2 weeks, we, as law enforcement community, have been receiving endless complaints about civil rights violations in our streets from U.S. citizens. What we're hearing is they're being stopped in traffic stops or on the street with no cause and being forced to demand paperwork to determine if they are here legally. As this went on over the
third world country,
we started hearing from our police officers the same complaints as they fell victim to this while off duty. Every one of these individuals is a person of color who has had this happen to them. In Brooklyn Park, one particular officer that shared her story with me was stopped as she passed ICE going down the roadway. When they boxed her in, they demanded her paperwork, of which she's a U.S. citizen and clearly would not have any paperwork. When she became concerned about the rhetoric and the way she was being treated, she pulled out her phone in an attempt to record the incident.
I got rights.
Knocked out of her hands,
right.
Prevented her from recording it. The officer had their guns drawn
of
during
course.
This interaction. And after the officer became so concerned, they were forced to identify themselves as a Brooklyn Park police officer in hopes of slowing the incident and de-escalating the incident down. The agents then immediately left after hearing this, making no other comments, no other apologies, just got in their vehicles and left.
Yep. Don't owe you no explanation. Okay? They don't owe no explanation. This devil is coming down with great wrath, man. Okay? And now what we're seeing, like with this protest that went into the church with Don Lemon and all of them, they're putting Jake at the forefront of the protest against the icicles. Okay? Mainly Judah, and mainly the Mo Man, right? Don Lemon and Eve. Okay? They're putting them as the poster child as to who, so that they'll be totally justified with going after Jake, man. Okay? It's all a big setup. All right. We're supposed to be wise enough to know better. Okay. And we should know how to conduct ourselves in these types of situations. I'm not pulling my phone out and starting recording. How y'all doing this evening, officer? Yes, I do have I have my ID, and I have my insurance, Yes, I'm a US citizen, blah blah blah. So they can get on about their merrily little way, man. Cause Jake, for some reason, think, I'm gonna exercise my. First of all, you ain't got rights. Okay? Oh, I'm this. I'm, like these Moorish guys. Okay? No. Why would you escalate the situation? Okay? They already itching. Okay? So there's no need to escalate the situation. Do as the scriptures say. Agree with thine adversary quickly. Yes, here you go. In order to keep the temperature down. Right? Hey, here you go, officer. That don't mean you got to be sitting there. Yes, you ain't got to cower, but agree. Here you go. I have them right here. Is it okay if I get it out of my glove box? Okay. Here you go. All right. And then you be on your way, Lord willing. Instead of sitting there, look, I know y'all ain't supposed to be blah, 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 and all this other, man, look, that Constitution, your rights, and all this shit, forget about it, okay? Forget about it. In these times, in the beginning of sorrows, in the time of Jacob's trouble, none of that stuff's not going to matter. And as you heard him say, these off-duty officers was Jake. Then I'm pull my camera out, I'm going to record this. They smack the phone. What you gonna do? Man, exercise my rights. And you gonna be upside down in a concentration camp, trying to remember anybody's phone number so you can reach out. And they say you got to do a full day's work just to make a phone call. You see, because they're using the people that they have locked up in those camps as slave labor, man. They pay them like $1.25 a day. And Issachar's simple ass is in there getting down, boy. Because that's in their spirit, But anyway, again, agree with thine adversary quickly. Be ye wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Get them on down the street, man. Instead of sitting there, rousing up their spirit, and then who knows how the situation can turn out. A Sandra Bland type situation. You know what I mean? Okay? These devils don't give a damn at the end. And we see how it's going with the media. Okay, you got the left, you got the right. But, these people are going to be like, oh, shit. Like that old Richard Pryor skit. Oh, those people, they were resisting arrest. They been beating our ass, man. And he was speaking on the Watts riots, if I'm not mistaken, right? In one of his stand-ups, he was like, white people, they don't believe in police brutality. They don't believe that it exists, And then he started speaking like a Edomite. He was like, those guys, basically, they were resisting arrest. You see? And that's how Esau always painted. Oh, they just wouldn't comply. That's why people always say, well, if you just comply, which is true in a lot of cases, why didn't he just comply? Sometimes, other times they just straight go upside Jake's head, man. Because they feel like they can, and they can't. All right? They've been given that authority, especially now. They've been given the green light. Trump called it necessary force. All right? Which that might be the name of this lesson. Necessary force. All right? So like I said, it's just a quick hit, just something to put out there, for us brothers and the sisters that may be listening. Don't sit there bucking up against them, man. Okay? Because we've even seen videos, Jake sitting there bucking and then Jake getting handled by Esau. Want to start calling Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah. Well, you should have listened to what the Lord said through the scriptures. Instead of, oh, I know my rights. Hey, that goes against my Second Amendment right. Man, shut up. Okay? All that's going to do is piss them off more and give them all the more reason to go upside your head. So with that, Lord willing, this was edifying. Okay, and with that, I'm going to close until the next time. We in that time, man. All right, Shalom.